Play!
I can't play.
Play!
Yes, ma'am.
Play!
And the one fish, two fish. And the one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. And the one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. So we are a go on Twitch. And let's just double check the YouTube. Go on Twitch. So we are a go on And let's just double check the YouTube. Go on Twitch. All right, YouTube is good. We're good. Sound seems to be working as well as it works for me. I'm working on. So I managed to get the Winter Whimsy submitted. Fingers crossed I didn't screw up too much on that. So that got to Dad's today. If I'm super lucky, it'll be out before Christmas. If not, it'll probably be January. Anyhow, so onto the 80s outfit we started. Did we just start that this week? I think we did. I think we did the pleated skirt. And I'm going to add some footless hose. I'm thinking about maybe putting leg warmers with this. So things I started today. I'm going to have heels for it. So I made some good progress on a heel. So I think I'm going to try to get this finished up. I went back and I grabbed my pantyhose from the MVP outfit, and we're going to chop the feet off of those, and we're going to add that to the outfit. I think I want to kind of get the shoes on here first, and then maybe I'll do a foot warmer. Also, we're going to add those little lacy cuffs. We have a pleated skirt, and I'm going to do an off-the-shoulder, just a simple off-the-shoulder top that'll be kind of be cropped to about here. Is what I'm thinking. And I think this is too long. We're probably going to bring that down so that it doesn't get above the waist of the skirt. I think right now it's right about at the waist, so I'll probably trim an inch or two off the top of that and then add a waistband into that. So I think I'm going to save this out as a garment so I can bring it in with the skirt. We'll do that. File, save as. I'm just going to hit save. Then we're going to do file save as a garment so that we can bring it in. Save as a garment. Actually, I think that'll work. I don't think I have to say selected. I think it'll grab all the pattern pieces. Where are we going at? Where are we at? It's still working at it. I think something may have happened over in chat. Yo, Zach, how are you doing? That's about par for the course. All right, where am I? I'm saving you as a garment. I'm going to put you into the 80s folder. You are, and it's in the, I should actually probably be making 80s folder up here instead of where I'm working right now. And you know what? I haven't set up a DAS directory yet. So yeah, you know what? We're going to do that. New folder. It's the 80s, baby. Madonna, MC Hammer, Whitney Houston, Aerobics, Desperately Seeking Susan, Buckaroo Banzai. All right. And then, so what I'm going to do is currently it's in dresses. So I think we're going to come down to dresses and just move what I've got saved so far. Oh, I'm still doing a file save as, aren't I? You know what? I'm just going to put you right here for right now. That's right, Michael Jackson's Thriller suit. I might do that. We'll see. Dum dum dum. Save it, save it, save it. 80s hose. Leggings. These are leggings. You take the feet off and they become leggings. I'm going to do that. 80s leggings. There we are. Let's put an S on that. That would have. I know. Maybe I should do that for next year. The Thriller. But I have to remember to do all that stuff in August. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to save. Where are you being saved at? File, save as. You're currently in the 80s, so let's finish that. And I'm going to reopen all of this stuff. You caught me in a reorganizing mood. So let's get into projects. So we're going to take what I currently have in the dresses folder over here. So I'm just going to. I'm going to call this 80s pleated outfit. So you know what? I'm going to just do a cut on that. And we'll just come over. Actually, you know what? We'll use ChatGTP and we'll see if it can come up with some cool names. There's my 80s right there. Let's paste that in there. Let's activate the power of ChatGTP and cool 80s styled women's outfit. And there we go. ChatGTP. There we are. We'll put you right there. Let's say 12 names for I might call it rad or something. I don't know. But anyhow, we'll do this. 12 names for 80s themed outfit with I'm gonna pleated skirt. And we'll see if we I don't want neon. Mallrat Magic. That's actually kind of good. Electric, totally tubular. Pleated pop. Actually, pleated pop. Valley Gal. What else? Flashdance Friday. Rainbow Arcade cassette. I don't like cassette. Pleats of Fury. Maybe something with Valley Gal. Maybe I'll call it Valley Gal. I think we'll do that. So the next thing, or pleated pop. One of these. Let's go see what's over at Daz. So this is the second step. First step is to kind of get a name. Second step is to go to Daz. And I got a new product. Sunrise Robe, now available at Daz. And then we'll do is we'll just put Valley. And we'll just see what comes up with that. 21 results. And I'm seeing if Valley is associated with any outfits. I think I'm good. I think I can call it Valley Gal. I'm going to call it Valley Gal. I don't want to actually come out and say Valley Girl. So there we go. So let's come back over here and we're going to call this 80s Valley Gal. Or just 80s Valley. How's that? Oh my God. Valley. Am I spelling Valley right? I am. Okay. Yeah, we're just going to call this the 80s Valley outfit. There we go. All right, let's pop over and see if my template is, if I cleaned that up or not. I think I got you set up a little bit better than it was last time. That's looking good. We're going to sew. Isn't there a historical catalog at Daz Products? It's not, oh, I'm not sure. You don't mean something like Poser Products, something, something, which basically does Daz Products these days. So I'm going to copy all of that. We're going to come over here. I'm going to paste all of that there. I'm going to make a WIP folder. We'll do that. So we'll put all of this stuff into the WIP folder. Also, I left a file over here. So I need you in the WIP folder as well. There we go. I think that was the garment. All right, I think now we're ready. So I'm going to open up the pleated skirt and bring the hose in. Which should be 80s outfit, I think. And the leggings is a garment, so we'll do this. Maybe I just call this a San Fernando outfit. Anyhow, there's the pleated skirt that we were working on last. And I'm going to go ahead and import, or I think we can just, what, file, add garment. And I'm going to get those leggings in here. Because what I want is I want to see my leggings are too long on the waist. I got to get at least 2 inches off of that. We want to get it down into here underneath that band. Let's do this and just see if everything settles down a little bit. Let's move you over here. Look at all those pieces. Man, I finally got this thing looking okay. I think all my sewing is the pleating and the sewing gets a little complicated. And I'm going to put, this isn't exactly authentic because I don't know if anybody ever made an outfit like this, although I imagine they did. I'm just going to put a couple of big snaps on here and then it will just snap loose. And it should come apart right about there. And so I have to tweak you. So we're going to come, and you see that's lining up right here. So I'm going to go down 20 millimeters, and then we're going to make another band below that. So offset as an internal line. I'm going to say maybe 15. I want to go the other direction though. Okay. I think I still got symmetrical. I do. Excellent. Offset as an internal line. 15. I want you to go that way. We're going to just cut these and take those parts off the top, and then I'm going to add another waistband in here. This is probably a little lower waisted than it should be, but that's okay. Okay, then we're just going to put a little trim down here as well. I think then I'm just going to add a little trim line. Do I want to? I was thinking I might remap this so that I don't actually have a seam on the outside. Anyhow, I still want to make sure I have a zone in here and a zone in here. We'll set those up. Offset as an internal line. Say 20 on those. We'll cut and sew all of that. So we have our waistband. I'm just going to put a thin little cuff down here. Just do that for 10. Say okay on that. Probably do a little cut and sew action on that. Dark. It's doing that thing I love so much. And cut and sew that. So here, let's set you guys up. Leggings. Let's say leggings. And I'm going to say leggings waist. I'm also going to say leggings trim because I'm probably going to add trim to this. Here and through here. And I'll just put it on the back side. So here we'll copy that and we'll turn you into leggings trim. And then you're going to be leggings cuff. There we go. Let's give these some colors. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, let's do you as greens. Applying close. Here's the cuff. Dots the waist. Legging. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these the trim. And then we're going to cut them off and then I'll reapply. So I'm going to put a little 5 inset there. Offset is internal line, and we're just going to say 5 millimeters on that. And then I'm going to just do, and I have an area here for, do I want to keep you? I think I'm going to keep that just in case I change my mind. Add another material zone up here. For pantyhose, it's handy. For these, I don't think I'm going to really need it. But you know what? I'm going to keep that there. So it'll kind of force the geometry to have a nice clean edge there if I change my mind and say, oh, you know what? I really did want a material zone there. So we're going to do that. Also, I want to put one right in here. Oh, and I forgot to cut and sew these, didn't I? Oh, well. Cut and sew. Did I cut and sew that? I don't think so. I did. Cut and sew. Did that? Goes through there and there. And I think I can just cut and sew that. Should be good. Now I'll take the leggings and put it there, 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 and there. I'll run the simulation and let it settle a little bit. Should be good. I want to take a look at where That waistband's lining up. It's probably a little low, but to get it under the skirt, I'm probably going to live with that. All right, let's save that. You know, while I'm in here, do I want to go ahead and do the shirt? I think so. Let me try to just eyeball this in real quick. We're going to do like a short sleeve off the shoulder kind of shirt here. So I'm basically going to make a t-shirt, but I'm going to chop off the very top part. And hopefully it'll be tight enough through here. I may add a couple. Well, I can always make it tight. We can always add tension to the band that goes across the top there. I really have to arrange this so that it lines up better. We'll just put that up there for now. And I'll just use the polygon tool. And I'm going to have like a collar. It's going to come out here. I'm going to come down a little bit. Actually, I want to redo that. So I'm going to curve that. This is going to come to about here. This is the armhole. This is going to come through here. And I missed. Damn it. Let's try this again. This part isn't that important. There we go. I think my armhole is too big. And I think you're... I love the way it didn't keep going. You could probably be a little smaller. Maybe a little tighter in there. Okay, let's put a curve in here as if I'm going to put a sleeve on. I'm going to come over here. You never know. And you know what? I'm going to do this. That's going to be top for right now. Okay, do I get my little handle? There's my little handle. We're going to make that say 90 or so. That looks pretty crooked. Is that really? That doesn't look like 90. I don't know, maybe it's just an optical illusion. That is not 90. What the hell? This is straight. See, that's closer. I'm probably pulled too far. All right, let's get this to be. I'm going to do that. I'm not going to worry about that because we're going to probably put a cut straight through here at some point. Maybe I'll just do that right now. So to do this, and then my armhole's probably too big. What are you? 221.6, so I need about 443.2. So actually, I'm going to say 221.6, and then I'll fold it over when I'm ready. So here, we're going to just start our sleeve like that. I'm going to put my classic S curve in here, and then we'll adjust that to the size of 221.6. So I want that to be about in there. You come back around like so. That is saying, you know, I'm going to maybe move you guys just a little that way. And I'm going to change length on this. And then we'll line it up a little bit better. So let's do that. Say change length. Make that 221.6. Yo, Art, how are you doing? Kriya is here. By the way, Zach, do you have any links you want to share for your works and stuff? And if not, I totally get that if you're still around. I've just gotten kind of used to not having to shout you out for anything. But if there's stuff you wanna get shouted out for, definitely let me know. All right, I'm gonna say okay to that. I'm working on an 80s outfit. This is kind of what we were doing on Monday if you were here. I think that's good. So I'm gonna do the sneaky unfold thing. Unfold symmetry, unfold. Here, we're gonna do that. And then, you know what? I want to tweak this a little bit. I don't like that. I'll shout out my stuff, but as far as I know, it's all consumer guy in the mm-hmm. Let's do no. Let's curve you out a little bit. Actually, I'm going to go back to that where I folded it. And why do I get? Why did it add all these points? Why? Why ask why? I'm going to do that. We're going to reset that to be change length 221.6. Excellent. Okay, now we'll do the unfold again. Excellent. I'm just going to sew that into there. You got your Daz gallery. You know what? We could shout out your Daz gallery. I can add that to the art command, I think. You got a link to it? You want to put it in chat? I think it should be okay to put in chat. I'm going to put a cuff on this. All right, let's do some CV. I'm going to do that. We're going to flip the normals on that. We'll move it to the back. We'll sew the other side into that. Let's put you like that and like that, and lay you up over the arm. Also, their Technowiz can get you the President's Bundle for $4.99. Ooh, which president? When you have sales like that, you yeah, that makes sense. Let's do this, Control D. Let's do that. Let's sew that to that. This to this. All right, let's see how this goes. I'm going to freeze the other stuff for right now. Both 45, 46, and 47. Oops. I need to sew these up. It's good. All right, now let's see how this goes. All right. I might need to, so the sleeves are too long, and I'm going to reshape those in a little bit. And I probably should sew, so I probably need to make this a little looser, I'm thinking, because when that does it, I think it's going to get a little tighty. Where are you? That's not too bad. And then we can sew these up. Even their $430 fantasy bundle. I'll have to try to remember to check those out. You know what? That's good. Okay, so what we're going to do I want this to be down lower? Like maybe in here is what I'm starting to think. Yeah, let's try that. Let's take that. So we'll do this, and we'll run that across to there. I heard a noise. Why did I hear a noise? Because Willie has subscribed for 3 years, baby. Hey, Willie, thank you for that sub, man. I should totally, here, we'll do this. Extend trim to pattern outline. Oops, I need to add a point. Extend trim and add point to pattern outline. We're going to do that in that way. I can figure out that that says 119.1. And then we can put a split in here. Although it's not really necessary, I guess. 119.1. Say okay to that. Take you. And run you across like so. And then maybe, can I just cut you? And then we can cut, can I just cut that? Get rid of that. So now I'm going to do this. We're going to tweak the sleeves in a minute here. So I'm basically going to reshape the sleeve. Maybe I'll just run that straight across. And we'll put a little trim in here so that can be a little stiffer. And actually, did I want that up maybe a little bit higher? Maybe a little bit higher. I'm going to undo that and tweak everything up by maybe 15. Have you ever been copyrighted for an outfit looking too similar? Or for Daz? Clothes is not copyrightable, but I think you might be able to trademark things. And anything that when I make something that's more or less IP, can I go ahead, Leo? Go ahead. If I'm doing stuff that's based on other people's IP, I generally will give it away from free. Or, if it's a generic enough item. I had somebody who asked for a sweater from Wednesday, and basically it was just a fuzzy sweater, and the colors made it distinctive. So, most of the colors are, although I have the distinct color in the set hidden in the background. Yeah, so you can't copyright clothes. However, you probably can trademark them, I would imagine. In general, though, I don't think clothes tends to get trademarked, but you never can be sure. And if you're, yeah, and so if you're doing like a Captain America suit, that's basically trademarked, right? And that's the way that Disney can go after you if you make copies of it. Exactly. If you change the look of it. I'm thinking if I want to make this higher, if I'm going to live with that. And part of me is saying a little bit higher. We're going to back this up and make it a little higher. So we're just going to put all of this stuff back in. So I think I'm back where I was. So what I'm going to do is, what was this? That's 1191. So I think I'm going to make this 109. We'll put a split in here at 109. We'll put a split in here at 104. I'm changing my mind as I'm on the fly at 104. Say okay to that. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to put a split in here at 104. Okie dokie. These I'm going to get rid of. Wait, where did my... Are you my split? What are you? You are my split at 104. Okay. That will convert you to a curve. That, I don't have anything there. These, I don't need. All right, let's try this again. That's how you got the Herbie textures for the VW Beetle. The Beetle came with Go Fast striping similar. Mm-hmm. It's Herbie. Oh no, wait a minute. Is that the dentist from Rudolph? An elf named Herbie? I forget. Let's cut that. Let's cut that. Okay, let's delete these. I'm a little happier with that. All right, now I'm going to go to town on getting the sleeve to fit a little bit better. I think basically we're just going to... I need to find out where this point is, right? And we have a measurement for that, so we can do this. Right there. Whatever that is. Seven 6.5. Are you also 7.6.5? You're 7.5.7. Of course you are. Yo, Fallen Learns, how are you doing? 7.5.7. Split 7.5.7. 7.6.5. 7.6.5. There we go. Then I'm just going to run a line between these two. Like that. You know what? I might curve this down a little bit. We'll see how that goes. But this is we'll start it this way. 7.62. Isn't that a millimeter size for a rifle round? Cut. Yep. Okay. All right. We're getting there. I'm going to make the sleeve shorter. Do I want to actually put a ruffle on that? Would that look cool? I think I need to take a little bit, get the back a little tighter. We could do that. There, I like that. I'm thinking I might want to pull the front down a little bit further too, though. We'll play with that. And then maybe I'm going to curve it out. We'll probably put a curve through here just so it runs a little smoother. I do kind of want this to hang loose, and I do kind of want it to be a little croppy. So I think maybe we'll lower that there. And then I'm going to maybe bring this up a little bit. So we'll do that. We are going to get to the working on the sleeves a little bit more, but let me tweak these first. So 1, 2, 3. It's probably okay. What I'm probably going to do is I'm probably will merge these together, and then, you know what? I want that a little further down. Yeah, I'll go with that. And then we'll do the same thing over here. We'll just run that up. Let's try that again. Like that. Let's merge. Let's take that, convert it to a curve. And then we'll do the same thing over here. Merge that. And I'll just convert that to a curve to kind of smooth it out. Oops, I didn't finish my curve converting. I think I'm going to pull that up just a wee bit. Do I just have one? I do. Yay. And I don't know, maybe dropping the whole thing down. Let's put that there. I might leave that. Part of me wants to make a bra with this, but I'm not going to do that. All right, we're going to just run this way. And now it's going to be a pain in the butt. That might be good. You know what? I don't think I'm going to get rid of this and redraw it back in later. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to put a little lacy, ruffly bit on the end of this. And let's put a split in here. We'll do a uniform split. We'll put it right in the middle. Convert that to a curve point. Does that work? Does that do what I want it to do? Leave me a little, there we go, perfect. And I can just take that away and kind of smooth those out like so. And you know what, that is kind of close to but that's actually what I wanted it to do. So I'm going to add a strip that we'll put on here. And what I'm going to do is here, we'll select this edge. And you know what? We don't need you anymore. And I'm going to actually put elastic on here, but we're going to set it to 100%. So that way it holds its shape, and then when we put the ruffle on there, the ruffle doesn't stretch that out. So that's what we're doing right here to 100. I'll make that strength 100 so it'll try to hold its length. Let's see how. So that's going to work. That is 304.2. So I think what I'm going to do is we'll just say 450. And we'll make by 50. So 50 by 450. Let's try that. Actually, let's do longer than that. Let's just do 600. 50 by 600. And I probably... Let's see how this goes. I'm going to freeze you. I'm going to try to get you lined up, and hopefully you don't get stuck in the arm funny. I might have to chop this in half and make it 2 parts and then sew it on. But we'll see if I can get away with just doing it with the one. Kind of like that. Let's sew these ends on, like so. Probably good. Now we'll just dupe this to the other side. And that should automatically sew up with that. I don't have to strengthen you anymore. Okay, now I'm ready. I think I'm going to go with that for the shirt. And we got our leggings. Maybe we'll do foot warmers. Oh no, I wanted to do the handcuff, right? So I'm gonna set that up real fast here. Let's do. You know what? I'm gonna add a little ruffle on the end of this too. Not as big as that. I think. Let's start with this, and then I'll size it to fit better. So do that. I'm just going to flip the normal on that one. And we'll just put this on the other side of the arm. I'm going to turn gravity off at this point. Or maybe gravity's already off. Nope. Gravity is now off. Gravity has officially been turned off. So you to you, you to you. Let's put that on the arm. Okay, that's a little tighter than I wanted, so we're going to loosen that up a bit. I want it just a little loose, and then I'm going to add some bands in here that we're going to tighten it up with. One, two, one, two. We'll see if that. I like that. Only I want a little bit more out here. So I'm going to pull those out a little like so. Pull these out a little like that. I want just a little bit more room on those. I'm so close. All right, that's kind of what I'm... Okay, now I'm going to tighten this up. I think I can maybe squish these down a little. Maybe make those a little squishier. Squish these down a little bit more. I seem to have the extra room in there. I keep changing these and it looks like, oh, you know what? It's flipped backwards. I'm going the wrong ways with these. No wonder everything's going goofy. I should think of them like this. I can fix this. We have the technology. My dad has tools. We can fix it. And now it's probably 2. Yeah, that's what I thought. You go that way. You go that way. All right, that's better. I'm going to live with that. I'm going to just maybe rotate it kind of like that. I'm going to put we're going to tighten it up here. And I'm going to put another band here. So let's put a little offset as an internal line. Let's say 5 on that. And I'm going to say okay to that. And I'm going to cut and sew those because I'm going to call this something. Cut and sew. Also, actually, now it's confused. We'll put some elastic on that, and we'll put a little bit of elastic on here. So it kind of pulls it tight around the wrist. Like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing right about there. Then I'm going to add a little bit of a lace on the end of this. That hopefully will go past the hand a little bit. You know what? I should put a split in here. Oh. Not dead. And we'll put a split over here. Run some lines along here. Can I offset both of those with internal lines? They did go the same way. Excellent. Damn it. It's doing that thing where it gets confused and does stuff I don't want it to do. And then we'll add some elastic to these. So that should pull it a little tighter right in there. Ooh, that was an unintended effect, and I like it. Okay, and then I'm going to... Maybe we'll lighten up the elastic just a little bit on that. I still got those selected. Let's put that to 90, and let's see how that goes. Okay, I like that. Okay, now we'll just put a little on here. So whatever that measurement is, we'll just put a double bit on there. And what are you, 90? So we'll say 180. And say 30. And 180. We'll say okay, and we'll line that up around the hand. Oh, so you need to actually be 360. Wait. Let's delete you. And I should split this in two. So I'm going to just copy this. Like so. Where did it all go? I lost my pattern. I fat fingered something. There we go. Let's take you, line you up. Line you up over here. And so you to that one there. I heard a noise. Why did I hear a noise? Yo, Dan, how's it going? Thank you for that resub, man. I appreciate that. Good to see you. I hope everything's going well in the Church of Rock and Roll. Let's do that. I just have to figure out that is that side there. I'm doing well, thanks. That is that side there. I want to sew that. I think it's just this to this, right? I'm working on kind of an 80s styled outfit. We have a pleated skirt. We have an off-the-shoulder top. I'm making little cuffs. These will be little lacy cuffs. I'm going to pair this with a pair of high heels and maybe leg warmers. And I think I might do earrings for this set. Okay, I can mold this back together again. Or I can, you know what, I'm just going to sew it. It'll make the UVs a little easier. Busy as ever, getting things slowly under control. Lots of work stuff kind of jamming. Oh, damn that work stuff. All right, this is good. Let's make a copy of this for the other side. Okay, I got to do a little bit of trimming up of things. I think I'm going to try to pop over and get some shoes done so I can bring those in and then I can put the leg warmers in. I don't know if I'm going to get that far tonight, but we'll see. Trimming. I'm going to do a little bit of trimming. I want to put a seam there and a seam there. And we want a seam there and there. So actually let's do this first. Offset is an internal line. I'm going to say 5. I'm going to cut and sew that. I'm going to want a seam back here. Offset is an internal line. 5. Okay. Cut and sew. Okay, I want seam lines there and there. Offset is an internal line. 5. Okay. cut and sew. Okay, now I need a seam line to run along this top edge, and then I want kind of a wasty thing in here. So let's get rid of these points. Don't need them. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to put an internal line through there. Maybe it'll help me even out my UVs a little bit. I hope. Okay, offset is an internal line. I'm going to say 5 on that. Do a good old cut and sew. I'm practically kneeling over. I'm too tired. Hey, take care, Willie. Thanks for being here. And thanks for the resub. There's a good old dyslexic heart for you, buddy. I appreciate it, man. And offset as an internal line. Put a trim in there. Cut and sew. All right, we're going to do offset as an internal line here. This is going to be a little thicker, so you know what? I'm going to make that 15. Say okay to that, and we'll cut and sew those. So I got all the trims set up on the top. We'll set those up with materials at some point, but for right now, I think that's good. I think I'm going to hit save on this. And I think we'll make a detour over to Blender, where I had started a shoot earlier today. Although, you know, a lot of times I have seen these outfits without the leg warmers, but I don't know. I kind of want to have leg warmers. So I'm going to do leg warmers. I probably should be lazy and not do the leg warmers, but what are we doing? What are we doing? I've got 4 people watching on YouTube. Wow. At least that's what YouTube tells me. I'm activating my Blender. My Blender isn't open. Why is my Blender not open? I installed the 5.0. I'm not sure what's really different about it yet. I think for what I'm doing today, probably nothing. Although, you know, Farrell posted over in the Discord the link to the new feature video. So I should probably get around to checking that out. By the way, feel free to join the Discord if you haven't already. If you post stuff in the galleries, we share it on the Saturday Night Social. Saturdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It's an art share. It's a Discord chat. It's an old cartoon. There we go. Pump heels. Don't save. Can't find it because I moved it. That's right. At the beginning of stream, we organized things. Organized things? No. Why? Why would you do such a thing? I don't know. It just made sense at the time. That's the wrong folder. Let's come over here to projects. Let's wait for projects to load because my computer is that fast. Come on, you can do it. I super believe in you. There we go. There's the 80s folder we just did. 80s Valley, there we go. Whip. There we go. Pump heels. And this is what I did a little bit this afternoon. I don't need you anymore. You were just kind of a guide for how high I wanted these. About 4 inches. I think I am nearly done with the modeling. I'm about ready to apply this level. Well, what I want to do is I should start setting up materials is what I should start doing. Let's say shoe. get something called shoe in here. That just figures. Is there a way to clean out? Let me see. Is there a utility that cleans out all unused materials in Blender? Remove unused materials. Look at that. Use the outliner set mode to see all the deleted and unused materials. Go to File, Cleanup. There we go. Let's try that. File, Cleanup, Purged unused data. 290 materials, 10 images, 1 mesh, delete. Okay. Now let's see how this goes. So now when I come over here, no, it's still all in there. What the hell? Can I just change you to shoe? Let's, and if I say shoe heel, I'm going to just start knocking out a bunch of shoe, heel, tip, shoe sole. What do you call the inside of a shoe? Let's do parts of a high heel. We'll Google this. When in doubt. Diagram might be nice. The insole. Is it all insole though? Is it the lining? I'm going to call it lining. It is lining. Lining, insole. That's what I'm looking for. Heel, heel tip, sole, and a sole edge. And the rest of it's all shoe. Lining. Yeah, we're going with lining. Yo, Napsmore, how are you doing? So I need a shoe sole. I need a shoe lining. I need an insole. And I need a sole edge because I want to put it right on this edge. Oops. And I'm going to call everything shoe underscore yada yada yada. When you export from Blender, it inserts those underscores in spaces. Shoe, sole, edge. Is that one of the Swords and Soul Calibur? Soul edge? I think so. Shoe sole edge, shoe lining. Shoe insole. I think that's good. Doing okay. Listening to a very noisy fan drying out your bedroom carpet. Oh no, not a roof leak. I'm sorry about that. Roof leaks are no fun. I dream of a future where I'll have enough money to stop the roof leaks. How cool would that be? All right, let's start assigning things and stuff. If I control L that's what I thought. So let's put a seam from here to here. Mark seam. I want to mark a seam from here to here. I think I got a seam marked in there already. I do want a seam. I don't want... Are you a seam? No, you're an angle. Oh, Farfignugan. There it is. Okay. It's just suddenly looked. You know what? It is version 5. Maybe it's why it looked different, but suddenly it just didn't look right. There's this properties window. That's what I wasn't expecting to see. I don't know. Anyhow, did that go away? That did go away. Excellent. I do want to mark a seam through here. And I want to mark a seam through here. You know what? Let's back the subdivision off so it's a little easier to see what we're doing. And how far did you go? Did you go all the way around? You did. Excellent. I think I already marked that seam. I think I want to mark that seam. We want to mark that seam as well. Mark that seam. I think this is, we're getting there. I don't need you there. I think you already marked as a seam. That I could use as a seam there. I'm going to clear that. Let's clear that. Well, it didn't come out of the ceiling. It dripped down inside the wall between your apartment and the unit next door, and then soaked all the baseboards and about. Oh, not your dime to fix. Well, at least there's that. But still, that's highly annoying. I think that's good. That looks like a seam. You know what? I'm going to unclear that because I think, yeah. All right. And then I think I'm going to put the seam through here. Did that go all the way around? It did not. And it probably didn't clear through here. Or maybe it did. Doesn't hurt. And I think, are you a seam? You might be. You're probably a sharp. And then I think I need. Oh, I went all the way through. Damn it. It's going too fast. I can't see the inside of the. There we go. Can I see the very front? This. Okay, I think I've got everything kind of split up. I'm going to make just a couple of little tweaks to this low poly shape, relatively low poly shape. I think we're fine. Let's pop over to UV editing, 3AU, and see if I've got anything. That's kind of what it, except we want to put a split in the very back. That's right. Let's do that. Right through here. And then also on the liner as well. I'm not sure what you are. You're probably part of the edges or something. We're going to texture this up in Substance, so this isn't overly critical. That's a little better. Okay, so when I apply the sub D, we'll remap it. And because it's a shoe, we're going to put our mapping only in half of the thing. So I think I'm going to apply one level of subdivision, tweak the modeling a little bit. Because I'm going to add some little bevel cuts. along some of these edges right in here. And I want to bevel this edge just a little bit too. So here, let's do, and I'm not using multi-res, so we'll kill that. So let's Shift A, apply that. Then what I'm going to do is put little, I want to put a little bevel along here. I want one in there, and in there. And did you go all the way around? I think you did. So I'm going to zoom in. Actually, yeah, I'm going to leave that, but let's, is it Control B? And I'm just going to break it a little bit more like that. And then what I want to do is I want to put a little cut right through here. Right in here. I got a goofy. This is rolling up inside, and I think we'll try to pull that back down. I don't know. Am I able to select the point behind it? Nope. Maybe we do this. See that right there? Not entirely sure why that happened. Something to do with the way I was. Oh, you know what? I put a I changed the weight of a point. So I'm just going to slide that out so it comes back out that way. Slide you back out. And then, or you know what I can do is we could probably just G-stretch that into a nice little, probably the easy way to do that. And I probably need to do this on the other side. That got a little wonky. I think I can clean that up a little bit. This I could probably just slide that over here until it gets a little better. And then maybe I'm going to slide all of these. So actually, let's slide you over here. Slide those so they're a little cleaner. Probably okay. Let's run a G-stretch on these just to straighten that up. Okay, that's a little cleaner. And I have to clean these up too, don't I? 1, 2, 3. And there's that point in there I can't see. Oh, we have to switch over to this so I can find that. There we go. That's better. Can I see you? You I can see. All right, those are good. I'm going to put a little bevel through here. I want a little divot right in there. And you get to continue through here. And let's see how nasty this gets. Control B. I'm just going to do that. I'm going to do offset. This is where things can get nasty. Little weird little corners like that. I'm going to offset along a normal. and push that in just a little bit like so. And then I'm just going to put a loop cut in there. Right in there. Then I'm going to clean that up just a little bit. I need to adjust my clipping because now I'm starting to get so close I can't see things anymore. And you. I'm deleting you. I'm deleting you. We're actually dissolving. I'm going to stop that. Let's try this again. Dissolve edges, and there was another one right in there. We'll do the same thing. Okay, I'm going to change this. We're going to clear these seams. So I'm going to mark a seam for this. And I need to, is that? Yep, and then I need to mark a seam there. I'm going to clear these seams. I'm going to clear that seam. And then I'm just going to go and check to the other side. Yeah, it looks like it went all the way around. I don't know if you went all the way around or not. You did not. No, that's I'm going to clear that seam. I think I'm good. And then I also want, that got a little crooked from the subdivision. We'll fix that. Likewise, this got a little crooked, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flatten all of these like that. And then I'm just going to put a little, I'm going to kind of put a little seam like what I just did on this edge right in here. I'm going to do this a little bit different. I'm just going to kind of do that. Then I'm going to do the offset faces along normal. And just slide that in just a little bit like so. Got a clear seam there. Same thing we did last time. Just going to put a loop cut right in the middle of that. We'll dissolve that. And I'm just going to dissolve that. And it leaves this little indent. And I'm going to mark a seam there. I'm going to clear that seam. And we're just going to double check. So I need a mark seam there, which means I probably need to do it on the other side as well. You look like, are you just a sharp or are you just a seam? You were just a, no, you were, I didn't mean to mark a seam there. What the? And then mark a seam there just to be, I think I'm good. I think I'm good. And you're not a seam, right? You're just, this is fine. This is fine. That didn't stay as sharp as I would have liked. Yeah, probably fine. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I'm going to put a level of subdivision on it just to see where we are. I'm probably going to subdivide this in DAS instead of in here. And I may rework this a little bit depending on how, if I get the inside poking through when we rig it in DAS, I might delete parts of it from the toe. What are we doing? I am generate subdivision surfaces. probably fine. I don't know, maybe I will just export it like this. Shade smooth. All right, back to UV editing. 3AU unwrap. Is everything? Oh, I have to redo. I lost my seams on the back of this. Oh, no, wait, they're still there. Oh, you're probably connected right about there. Oh, I see. Right back here. Right in there. Somebody needs to mark a seam right between those two. That's better. Are you stuck over there or you just... Those are stuck together, but we can... Boop, boop. I think they at least they look like they might be. I don't know. Yeah, they... Okay. That looks a little better. I don't know. Are you actually attached to this over in here? Is that what's going on? Yeah. Once again. All right. I think we're good. Okay, and now I'm going to pack this so it's all over here. So, oh no, I've got to get my Packmaster loaded in this stupid thing. File. No, edit preferences. Edit preferences. I'm hoping Packmaster works with this version. Otherwise, we're going to save this and reopen it back up in 4.5. I think I have to load it in though, don't I? UV Packmaster. It says it says it's installed, but I'm not seeing it in my tools. Oh no. Enabled only. No. I think it just isn't working in 5 yet. Oh no. Because it should be right here, right? Okay, let's hit save. Let's close this. Let's open 4.5. That's kind of to be expected. Finding out which of your add-ons don't work in the new version of Blender because something got changed. Some clever developer decided to rename something in one of their... and just broke stuff. That's what they like to do. Okay, file... Open recent... Nope. Oh, I think the snow's working, by the way. Exclamation point snow. Or it might be a channel redeem. I think it's a channel redeem. Or a channel point redeem. Let me check. Yeah, I think I have to do... Are you my channel? Where's my channel points? That's YouTube. I can't do it. Sorry, it's Twitch channel points. Snowfall. Is it working? It was working when I tested. There it goes. There it goes. This was the snow we made the other night. I think actually we did this on Tuesday. I need to add music to it, but I haven't found music that is public domain that I want to use with this. I've been looking though. I'll probably use Holiday. I think the U.S. Air Force, one of the Air Force bands, has Carol of the Chimes or something, so I might try to maybe use a little bit of that. I'm loading my shoes, and you are over here in the 80s, in the valley, in the whip, in the, there we go. There's UV Pack Master. Huzzah. Let's launch you. Let's come over here. Let's make sure my is my custom target box on? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's pack. Yay, my custom target box is there. There we go. We've packed into half of it. I should stretch these out. Let's try. What if I select these? Control L and UV map them, but use the minimize stretch. I like that. Let's see, can we adjust the TD? Is that over in here somewhere? Adjust TD to unselected. Excellent. All right, now we'll just repack. That's a little better. All right, back into layout. You know what? I think my heels are about ready to go over into DAS. I'm going to be bold, and we're going to get it over into DAS. So we got to mirror it. I think I have to apply my transforms. I'm going to make a copy of this because we're paranoid that way. I'm going to hide the other one. I'm going to go ahead and apply. No, I'm going to leave that there, but I do want to all transforms so that, so currently it's centered here and it's angled, so we want this to be centered on the like that, and then we're going to put a mirror modifier on here. There we go. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to tell it to mirror the UVs so that half UV gets flipped over to the other side. Okay, I think I'm ready to export this and set it up in DAS. F6. We are looking for, we were right there. Right there, into the whip. I'm going to do that. I'm going to say 80s. I'm going to call these 80s heels. They look like modern heels, but I found a pair of heels that looked kind of like this from the 80s, and I said, close enough. G9. I think this is just G9. Okay. Use the DAS preset, so we do selected only. Export that. Should be good. Open up DAS. Get DAS like that. Let's bring in a Genesis 9. And Chris needs his instructions, so we're going to find a thing in here that says rig shoes. Rigging shoes in DAS Studio. There we go. All right, get rid of that. All right, import shoes. the 80s. The Valley Whip heels. Okie dokie. Alright, I gotta pose these feet. I probably used the let's do that. Something like right about there. That's close to 45. It looks about right. And then the toes will probably get bent back the other way. Minus 45. Which is about right. This was... Oh no! Oh no! We're going to pull the bottom of the shoes down a little bit. We'll do a little proportional editing. We'll grab the heels of these, the soles and the heels, and just pull them down a bit. I'll do them. I'm going to do this part, and then we'll do the heel separately. So we'll do that. And this probably happened because I forgot to turn my Genesis 9 on. Nope, you're Genesis 8. You're Genesis 9. You totally aren't. No, you're the wrong thing. There we go. You were totally fitting before. Oh well. We can fix this. We have the technology. I'm going to just come through here. To here. Use proportional editing. I'm just going to use linear. I'm just going to do that, and we'll change this fall off. So I want to just maybe pull you down like so. Check and make sure nothing popped out while I was doing that. Probably good. Now we'll just select that. Expand that. Look at this from the back. And just line that up. You don't look like you're completely flat down there, though. Now you're completely, well, turn that off. That's probably good enough. So drag that down so it lines up like so. Okay, now I think let's try this. And then we'll re-import. Uh-oh, did I not save this? Didn't I? F6. Oh, I saved it totally in the wrong spot. You belong over here. I have no idea why you weren't in the same folder anymore. That's better. Right to left should be good. Okay, we have successfully imported the shoe. Let's do the next step. Copy the currently hidden parameters being used. So we'll come over here, make sure, oops, show hidden is on. Come to currently used, and that's what we're looking for there. I'll print screen that. Control V. I'm going to crop that down. Okay, so we want to remember these values right here. Next step, bake joint rotations in this. So come over here, joint editor, right click, edit, bake joint rotations. Okay, so now we have to reset these. 69.2, 69.2, dude. And 75. That looks a little weird. We'll trust the process. Okay. Reset. Use the transfer utility. Do not use the projection template. Remember that, dude. Don't use the projection template. It's bad. Transfer tool. Select Genesis 9 favorites. That's the one we just broke. Select the heels. Accept that. And there it is rigged to the shoes. 0 the JCMs on the shoes. Hey, it's Rod Shelley. Everyone, I'm late. Been burning my brain down. Sorry, dude. Trying to find a certain PZ file for the oh no. Don't you just hate it when you know the file somewhere but you can't find it? Speaking of which, do you have everything? I don't know how I live without this. Everything. It basically keeps track of all of my files and it finds them really fast. And I hope it works in Windows 11. I'm hoping, I don't know, we'll see if Chris needs a new computer and he's not sure he can afford it or not. If I can pull off that bank job, I should be good. What was I doing? Where was I? I was rigging shoes. Reverse the pose, touch up the shoe weight maps. Okay, we're not going to touch up the shoe weight maps, but we will reverse the pose. So right foot. We'll do left foot. Bump, bump, bump. Reversing the pose, which means we are looking for a bend. And we're going to do minus 45. Then we come over to them toes. And they go 45. And then we copy the left to the right. Accept that. Okay, we're going to now export this shape out. I'm going to put that not there, but over here. Save that. Okie dokie. All right, let's hide you. Let's bring in another Genesis. So what's that software? It's called Everything. And basically when I lose something, I type in, you know, if I'm looking for, you know, I know I've got a Marvelous Designer file. So this is now just listed all my Marvelous Designer files. You know, if I'm looking for my cinnamon boots. There they are, cinnamon boots. It tells me where they are. So really handy. Let me see if I can find if it has the link. Everything website. There's a website. Void Tools. As far as I can tell, it's not a virus. I've been using it for years and it hasn't eaten my computer yet. Okay, rigging the shoes. Import in the OBJ we just exported. Accept that. Okay, let's make a shoe pose here. Bend 45. Oops. Oh, I forgot to rig it. Let's rig it. That one there. That one there. This time I can use a template and we're going to say footwear. Accept that. Still doing damage control from the hack a few weeks ago. Yeah. All right. Posing. 45. Minus 45. So it's a little off, but I'm going to fix it. Shift Y. Left, right. Accept that. We're almost there. Actually, it's in pretty good shape, but I think... So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reload in our original shape as a morph target. And then we're going to re-export it and then bring it back in and then we're going to update the geometry. That's what we're doing. And then I might touch up the weight maps. But and it's almost 9 o'clock. I'm going to try to throw this over in the Marlin Center. I'm going to run a little late tonight. Let's do that. Let's grab this. So I'm going to import this shape in. And then when we come over here, this is the original shape. So I'm just going to dial that back in. Cleans it up just a little bit. I'm going to reset this. We're going to re-export that over this with the corrections applied. Do I want to replace it? Yes. And I'm going to accept that. And I should save. And then I'm going to change the name of this. Actually, I'm not going to do that. You know what? I'm going to get rid of this. I don't need it anymore. Now I can change the name of this. I'm going to update, Control-Shift-F that. We're going to update that with the new shape we just saved. That right there. Accept that. Accept that. Okay, and then when I pose this, it should be closer to the good shape. Let's save a few things. Left foot. Bend 45. Get its toes. Bend those at minus 45. Is that heel sticking through? I can probably fix that with weight maps. Shift Y. You just downloaded it. You'll wait till the weekend and install it. Your brain should be... Yeah. You know what? I like how those shoes looked. I think they came out really nice. I'm so happy with that. Hey, no problem. That thing has saved me so much time. Not gonna lie. It is just so freaking, like us, we've got like millions. We've got literally maybe billions of files. Millions of which are content for the programs we like to use. I'm going to, let's put my generic shader on these, and then we're going to save these out. Let's pop over here. Pop over here. I'm not going to do a subdivision level on this because my resolution's a little high already. Nope, nope, nope. Over here. Are my material names good? My material names did not come in. Wah, wah, wah. I'm going to have to fix that. Oh, well. I'll take care of that later then. Damn it. There's my base shader. I'm going to just tweak my... Set that to 35. It'll crease things up just a little bit. That's true. Let's just do a quick test render. Just so I can show it off. Then we're going to save this. Then I'm going to pop back over to Marvelous Designer real quick. Is anything exciting happening on my phone? Nope. So I got to do a little bit of fixes. I accidentally got this in without my materials. That's not good. I think I need to maybe put a little bit more room in the heel. So we'll probably adjust that a little bit. And then I got to still make this for Genesis 8. So that's in... So actually, let's do this. Let's come over to here. Let's go into the 80s. 80s Valley. People. Genesis 9. Clothing. Me. You're going to be 80s Valley outfit. G9. '80s Valley shoes. Heels. I'm going to say heels. G9. Yeah, let's do that. It's going to be 80s Valley outfit. Actually, I'm just going to call it 80s Valley. Should be good. What's missing? Something is missing. It's not letting me say, why is that? See, because I'm not in a mapped folder yet. We forgot to map our folder. Content library. Content directory manager. DAS, add. Projects. 80s Valley. There we go. Accept that. You have HDs and DVDs. I have stopped using DVDs. I used to have all sorts of stuff on CDs and DVDs. I still have those in boxes, but I think most of them I've got on hard drives now. Well, movies. I have movies. I do have movies on DVDs. Although, honestly, I can't remember the last time I actually watched one of those. I used to buy so many of that stuff. I'm not as bad as Charles. Charles makes it sound like he has an entire house of just wall-to-wall DVDs. All right, let's try this again. There we go. All right. 80s Valley heels G9. That's better. 80s Valley. There we go. Accept that. I'm also going to save this foot pose before I lose it. So there's our 80s Valley. Why are you? Oh, my stupid library freaked out again. Content directory manager, accept. Let's see if this restarts it. There we go. I think I'm optimistic. People, Genesis 9, Clothing, me, 80s Valley, outfit G9. Let's save this right here. Pose preset. 80s Valley heels, pose G9. All right, let's turn that off and let's come down to just the feet. So there's the left foot. There's the right foot, except that. We make the we do. Yeah, take that archive.org, you and your old church. I'm kidding. I don't have that many hard drives. All right, let's pop back over to Marvelous Designer. Okay, I'm going to bring in the shoes, and then we're going to do the, I'm going to quickly just try to throw some leg warmers on here. So file, add, import add, OBJ. I want those. Oh, although they're not the right size for this. They're pretty close. I'm going to live with that. All right, let's make some. You know what it is? I got to resave. Control Shift F. Let's set this to be for Jenna's the base female. Then I'm going to save this out again. Is it going to be G8F or G9F? Export that. Come over here. Get rid of that. Re-import. That one right there. I have no idea what did I just do. Did I just bring in another? I brought in another avatar. I had the wrong thing selected. Wah, wah. Let's try this again. There we go. Boom. You don't have that many hard drives, but the ones you have are really big. I wish my were bigger. Nope, I did the wrong thing. I had I if they don't die, I still have them connected. So I have external drives ranging from 2 to 10 terabytes. And I don't have any 20s yet. Someday, I will probably get some 20s. And I can maybe retire because I actually have had 3 of these external drives die over time. I didn't lose anything because I've got stuff scattered across so many different drives, although I'm not that organized. And I was able to bring one back to life by replacing the controller card. Let's try that. Let's come back into here. Import add OBJ. Let's do that. Say okay. There we go. So I have the shoes in here so that the, and you can see I need to adjust them a little bit. So anyhow, let's make leg warmers. I'm just gonna make and then we'll, did that make any sense? Probably not. I think we're gonna just start with a little square like that. And I'm just gonna rotate you like so. And move you over here. And then I'm just gonna no, I'm gonna Control CV, like that. Roll you around like so. So that to that, that to that. Do this. It's thinking about it. While that's thinking about it, you know what? I don't need Daz open anymore. I'm done with Daz for the day. Or at least for the stream. Oops. Damn it, I accidentally saved my startup file again. Right, that's a little tight. I think I'm going to make that or maybe we just do this. And I think I do want those to be longer, so we'll do that. And actually, a little bit of width, a little more height. I'll never need anything. I don't think I have ever said that. If only I had a whole megabyte of memory, I will never need more. I will be set for life. Are you doing anything? All right, I'm gonna, you know what? Let's merge this together. Let's get rid of these. Let's add a couple of, we'll just add a little bit of trim. Offset is an internal line. 15, I like that. I'm going to do that. Then you get in the graphics, exactly. And it's never fast enough, and you never have enough memory. Cut and sew, like so. And maybe we do this. Maybe I make the thickness like that, so that it really wants to be too thick. Is that simulating? Maybe not quite that bad. Maybe we take it back down to 6. I don't know. I'm going to play with these. But I like the way it's going over the heel a little bit. Although maybe I want it up just a little higher. And then what we'll do is we'll just see. No, we'll just Control V that. Control D that over to here. And I think I'm going to call it a day with this right here. So we got our top, we got our skirt, we got our leggings. I got my little wristy things. And I think Saturday we'll make some earrings. And that's going to be my 80s outfit. So, yeah, thank you all for being here. We did run a little late today because I did want to try to get these leggings started. And that was the real reason I was working on the shoes, because I kind of need the shoes in here so I can kind of set up the leggings. So the shoes still need some work. Everything needs some work. What am I saying? I still have to chop up more zones on the dress. Anyhow, Saturday, I will probably be still working on this outfit, and I think our plan for the Saturday stream is at least to do the earrings and maybe work on texturing. So that's the general plan now. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate that. Hey, Dr. DK was in the house. There's a dyslexic heart. He's probably streaming right now. So we're going to do that. If you're on YouTube, thank you. I appreciate that. Like and subscribe. If you're on Twitch, if you want to stick around for the raid, that would be awesome. Like I said, my man Dr. DK, aka Bad Tooth Records. Oh, I am not yet. Oh no, are you going to be? Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. My entire you've been putting out fires of the client. Okay. Well dang it. The city account. All right. My music friend, all music considered is on, but let me see if any of the art friends is on. We'll do that. If there's an art friend on, we'll raid them. If I don't see one of the art friends, maybe we'll go over and see the wonderful all music considered, whose names have fallen out of my goddamn brain. Damn it. George and nuts. Oh my gosh, I can't remember her name now. George and Sandy. George and Sandy, all music considered. Let's go over and say hi to them. They're just a marvelous music streamer pair. So we'll go over and say hi to them tonight. Control V. All music considered. Anyhow, I appreciate everybody being here. We did go a little late today. I will be back Saturday, 1 p.m. for more 3D stuff like this. Probably working on this outfit, maybe making earrings, maybe texturing, maybe both. We'll see how that goes. And then on Saturday, 8 p.m., it's the Saturday Night Social. It's an art share. It's a Discord chat. It's an old cartoon. So feel free to join the Discord. If you put stuff in the gallery, we do share on the Saturdays. Hey, I'm selling stuff at Daz. I had a new outfit come out today. Buy my stuff. Here, I'm going to do a quick ad. Buy my stuff. Buy my stuff. Buy my stuff. The sunrise robe is now available at Daz. Dum dum dum. There we go. Available for Genesis 8 and Genesis 9. A D-Force robe loosely based on a Japanese kimono. I didn't bother staying particularly accurate, which is the reason why I don't call it a kimono. Anyhow, out at Daz just today. Quick, grab one copy, grab many copies, and if you can't afford it, hit me up in the Discord. Anyhow, thank you all for being here. Once again, Dan, thank you for that resub, and Willie, thank you for your resub as well. And let's do this. We have raid calls. If you can join the raid, that would be awesome. If you're not a subscriber, use that. If you're cool like Dan, you get to use the sub raid call like that. And let's do this. Raid and Control V, and we'll go over and say hi to George and Sandy. Yeah, thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Hopefully I see you Saturday. If not, I hope you'll have a good rest of a Thursday or Friday. Raid. Yes, a raid. We are doing a raid. Didn't I start a raid? This means we go over and hang out with another streamer. Yeah, so let's do that. If you're on, hope you have a good rest of a Thursday or Friday if you're on the happy side of the planet. Hasta la vista, baby.